Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm super stoked to share with you today an absolutely delicious and simple Greek-inspired orange cake. Very easy to prepare, fairly quick, and a hit with everybody. And here's the thing. My dad went and got me a bunch of oranges. When I mean a bunch of oranges, people probably think I had like scurvy or something. He got me like 2 or 3 dozen oranges. So over the next few days, I'll be making a few orange recipes. And today, this recipe tops the chart because it is one of my faves. A few ingredients, done and dusted in like no time. So first things first, I'm gonna preheat my oven 375 degrees Fahrenheit or about 180 degrees Celsius. Get that off and going. And with the help of my trusty mixer, we just basically combine everything, throw it in, bake it off, and glaze it. That's another thing I love about this recipe. It's got a beautifully simple little glaze, puts it over the top. All right, so let's get the show on the road. First things first, I'm gonna take half a cup of my softened butter is gonna go into my mixing bowl here. Get that out of the way. I'm gonna take 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Gonna go in as well. Move that out, lock and load, and get this whipping up. So now that this has been beating for about a minute, next thing to go in are my 2 eggs. Again, like I always say, if you can do this by yourself directly into the bowl without getting shells in, that's fantastic, do it. If not, just crack them in another bowl and just add them there if you can't pick out the shells or whatnot. All right, let me drop this down again in the low speed. Next thing to go in is half a cup of milk is gonna go into our batter. Half a cup of freshly squeezed orange juice. I really prefer freshly squeezed orange juice when baking rather than the frozen concentrate or whatnot. It just gives a more vibrant and bright flavor. So our orange juice goes in there. Half a teaspoon of baking powder will go in there as well. And bring that up now just a little bit to incorporate, for the most part, our wet ingredients. All right, and lastly of our ingredients is one of the most important is our flour. Here is the thing I can't stress enough. I've stopped my mixer completely before I add my flour in, and I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of self-rising flour. The reason I have this stopped is, and I speak from experience, don't be a hero. If you're gonna throw in like flour into your mixer and it's spinning around, I guarantee you, it is not gonna be fun, especially to clean up. So our flour goes in and we're just gonna combine this up slowly. No pressure, this isn't a race, it's a marathon. And get this combining, and combine your flour to start with on the lowest speed. Get all of the kind of the loose flour incorporated, and then once it's kind of worked in there, you can kind of amp up the speed. Perfect, just like that, nothing to this at all. We're ready to go to our next phase, which is our baking vessel. For this, I'm using a 5x9 pre-buttered, pre-greased loaf pan. Nothing complicated at all. Now, at some point during this mixing process, a good idea would be to grab a spatula and scrape off the sides of your bowl, just so that way all of your ingredients get mixed evenly. The last thing you want, and the worst thing, is to have like ingredients that are like buckling on you, that are like, you know, unmixed or clumpy and crappy, and that's no good. And that's it. Our batter is ready to go. Just gonna scrape it off here. Our oven is already preheated at 375, so that's good to go. Let me just scrape this off. This is the worst part of this batter, is trying to clean it off your paddle here. And we're pretty much ready to go. Scrape off, make sure you get all your batter in this. And just start. This is so fluffy and so light. Amazing, really amazing. Perfect. Perfect, just like that. Let me just put this down here, like this for now. And as the best you can do, spread your batter of this around evenly. Again, you want as even as you can. You're not icing a cake, so it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth or an exact science or anything like that. Just the best that you can do. And again, I can't tell you this enough. I'm no baker, but if I can do this, you can do this too. It's no big deal. So there goes our cake ready to go in our oven. And again, I'm going to throw this in my oven for about 35 to 40 minutes. And just keep checking on it and do the toothpick test, and you should be good to go. And it's showtime, baby. My cake is out of the oven. It took exactly 40 minutes to bake, and now it's completely cooled. It's basically right down to room temperature. You can easily handle it. Look at this. Look how lovely this thing is. I can take a selfie with this. But it's not finished. There's more. With this cake, you can serve it like this. Yeah, it's a little bit boring, but it'll still be flavorful. Tastes good. What I'm going to do at this point is up the ante a little bit and create a little glaze for it. So to create a little orange glaze, what I'm going to very simply do is take my mixing bowl here and take 1.5 cups of icing sugar, just like that. That's why you should always do things nice and slowly. And along with this, what I'm going to take is 1 tablespoon, or 2 actually tablespoons, of freshly squeezed orange juice. So here we go. There's 1 tablespoon. Now, you're gonna say it's not really a lot. Believe me, once you see how this thing turns out, it's gonna be good. Then you take a little whisk. You could even do this with a spoon. And just stir that around. Stir it, stir it, stir it, stir it, stir it. If you see it's too tight, just keep adding more orange juice by the tablespoonful. So add a little bit more and keep stirring until it becomes like a loose consistency, literally like a glaze. See, not quite there. I think what we're gonna do is use 1 more tablespoon. Perfect. Key thing here as well, make sure that your orange juice is fresh squeezed. You get that kind of sharp tanginess and that brilliance of, look at that. Now that's what I'm looking for. This is it exactly. Now, trick number 2. Let me move this aside. You don't have to get all fancy schmancy, as an old neighbor of mine used to say. If you don't have a piping bag or a drizzle bag, I'm using one of these puppies. It's just a plastic sandwich bag. So now that we're done with this, I'm just gonna move this off here. What you're gonna do is take your glaze and pour it into your bag. And I'm gonna show you where I'm going with this. And you will create a work of art, my friends, an absolute work of art. There. So leave that there. Move that here. Carefully. See, I got a little bag here. Now, close this up. Get the air out of it, or as much air as you can. Nothing to this. Now, this is where the magic happens. Let me take my cake in the middle of my cutting board. Now, what you're gonna do in your bag is cut a very, very small hole on the corner. And this is what's going to happen now. Very carefully, you're going to take this and you're just going to start running it all over, just like that. And use your cutting board as part of the presentation. Look where I'm going with this. Look what's happening here. And just do it until your icing is all used up. That's already looking like a picture. Now, let's take this one step further. I got some orange zest, and what I'm going to do is just right over the top of your cake, just make it look nice. It's going to give you that added effect that you want. People will automatically know what it is because you're going to have orange zest on it. And this will be absolutely beautiful. And you're getting the sweetest part of the rind as well. You're not going too deep where you're going to get that kind of really bitter, tangy part. And look at this. Tell me that does not look gorgeous. That's it. Perfect. Just like that. And I'm done. And that, my friends, is my Greek style orange cake. It's a coffee cake. And you know what? Let me get rid of this here too, out of the way. Move this here. And I'm actually going to cut into this right now. I'm going to cut myself a little piece. And I want to see, and I want you to see how this is going to turn out on the inside. Oh my God, is that ever gorgeous. And this smells, I can't even tell you how good this smells. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So that's it for this episode on my Greek style orange glazed cake. Very easy, it's super delicious, and not a lot of fuss or muss, and it certainly doesn't take long. So I thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time. I hope you guys really try this. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, I'm Ken. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.